This is Reality Over Theory News. I'm going to explain why Donald Trump will not win the election, even though he has the popular vote, and I'm going to explain the particulars of it. And when the outcome is revealed, it'll be obvious what I was stating all along. The thing is that Donald Trump has the popular vote right now. Donald Trump could win the election, but the problem is that the media is propagating an ideology of lies that Donald Trump will not win, that he does not have the popular vote. And the reason why they're doing that is the Republicans and the Democrats are both working together because they do not want an outsider inside the system. The system is corrupt, and it's millions of times more corrupt than the average public would know of the workings of our federal government. The public does not know what's going on. It's millions of times more corrupt. So the Republicans and the Democrats are all coming together. They're conspiring. They're committing election fraud. They're committing a coup d'etat on the government. They are the very officials inside that are overthrowing the government. The founding fathers always said about the enemy was not out but within. They always emphasized that our government would be destroyed from within, but not without. No, it's whatever forces of evil that were outside were insignificant relative to those that were inside in reference to overthrowing our government, our institutions, and our Constitution. Uh, John Ryan never supported Trump. He gave it the appearance of doing it, and all the other Republicans that went along after the fact gave it the appearance of supporting him because they were secretly undermining him. They were trying to overthrow the election. If they did not show their support from, and then they were overthrowing the election, or by saying, "Oh, Donald Trump is." Oh, he's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but this and that. And they would come out all negative statements against him. And the reason why is that was to persuade the public not to vote for him. But they couldn't outright do it because you have more credibility if you give it the appearance that you're supporting the candidate. And at the same time, you come out with statements that appear to be supportive. But in the total, what would you say, uh, the total meaning of your statement really is that he's no good, he's unqualified, and you shouldn't vote for him. But I'm still going to support him, which they say. Now, all of a sudden, they're coming out even further that they're not going to support him. What's going to happen is Donald Trump is going to win the popular vote of the registered voters in the state, but they're going to bus in illegal aliens. They're going to bus in unregistered voters, and they're going to have them vote, and they're going to vote early and often, as Huey Long said. So they're going to continue to vote illegal people that are illegal, that are not authorized to vote, that are whether they have felonies and they're not authorized, whatever the state laws are. They're going to bust them in or get them in multiple election districts across America, and they're going to be voting to such a degree where the legitimate popular vote will be overridden by the illegitimate popular vote. So what that means is that Hillary will win the election when they do the count. Now, also, what they can do is there's a company in Spain that's going to do the counts, the election counts. If necessary, they'll use that to rig the elections as well if they don't get the number of illegal, if they don't get the number of total votes that will support Clinton, whether it's illegitimate or legitimate. They'll use the company in Spain to override them and miscount. And also, what they'll do is use absentee ballots to commit massive voter fraud. Online, I don't remember the person's name. There was an individual online that just broke some stories a while ago about massive voter fraud going on in the Democratic Party. Some of the Democratic operatives reveal their secrets about what they were doing. Also, they were going to Trump rallies, and they were going in the front of the crowd, and they were causing a ruckus and all. And they were provoking the people in the Trump rally. So some of the Trump supporters, or what appeared to be supporters, would assault or be physically aggressive towards these protesters. And what would happen is the media would immediately start filming it, and they would put that on TV to show how Trump supporters are violent and propagate an ideology that Trump supporters are dangerous and induce fear in the public. The bottom line is everything is staged. This is everybody in the media The mainstream media are nothing but propaganda ministers. If you study the history of it, in about 1907, the muckrakers started exposing massive corruption. They were considered the investigative reporters of the time, and they were instrumental in breaking up Standard Oil and various other entities and exposing them, the trust busters and all. And Teddy Roosevelt moved ahead because of the pressures that were created due to the exposure of this corruption. So what happened was many very wealthy people came together and they started buying up McClure magazine and various other magazines. Back in 1907, 1910, they mostly had radio and magazines. So what they did is they bought up the radio and bought up the magazines, and they had massive viewers, massive. What would you say? The audience was a large audience. Uh, uh, the circulation rate was very high because of the muckrakers reporting in those magazines and various papers. What happened was when they brought them over, they took the muckrakers and they slowly eased them out, and then they softened up the news. They made the news, what would you say, unworthy news that really had no relevance to what the public needed to know about the workings of their government and how private interests, money interests, get involved to subvert the democracy in the interest of promoting their, increasing their wealth. So what's going to happen, I believe, is that the vote count is going to be rigged. Either one way or the other, it's going to be rigged by bussing in massive, massive numbers of people in election districts that are not authorized to vote. They're unregistered voters. They're illegal aliens, whatever it may be. They're going to bus them in, or they're going to drive them in, whatever it may be, and they're going to pay them. They have multiple front organizations run by George Soros, and he's funding this coup d'etat on our government. Hillary Clinton, along with Bill Clinton, have been funded by foreign powers. This is why she destroyed all the emails. The destruction of the emails, the crime that she committed there, is multiple crimes, but it's insignificant, incidental, relative to if that evidence came out. If she did not destroy emails and they used that to prosecute her, it would show that she's committing espionage. She's selling secrets to foreign powers. She's selling nuclear uranium to the Russians. She's double dealing every which way. She created this Clinton Foundation with Bill Clinton in order to allow foreign powers to funnel money to her, because the law does not allow anybody in office to get money from foreign powers. So what they did is they created a not-for-profit organization, disguised it as a philanthropist organization to help various countries of the world that were in need of help because they were in poverty or they needed medical care, and that was just a pretext to cover up their actual motives. This organization is a front organization, so foreign powers could funnel money through. Hillary Clinton would be prosecuted for laundering money, espionage, violating the RICO statute. She should be prosecuted under the Racketeer Influence to Corrupt Organizations Act, because what she's using is that organization is nothing but a criminal enterprise. It appears to have an outward appearance of philanthropy and doing good, but the ultimate objective is it's a criminal enterprise. It was created for that sole purpose and nothing more. And the problem is that the news reporters are protecting her. The reason why they're protecting her is because our system is corrupt beyond all means. And the news reporters are nothing but propaganda ministers. They're owned by the wealthy. A small number of people control the majority of all mainstream media. If you want to understand the truth and you want to look for the truth, go on YouTube or various other entities and look for alternative media. But still use discernment when somebody's speaking, because they could be sincerely wrong, or they could be actively lying, or whatever the case may be. But all I ask is that watch these people. These people are plotting behind the sidelines. Hillary's got a projection problem. Everything Hillary says that somebody else is doing, it's really what she's doing. And the idea is if you throw enough stuff against the wall, it's bound to stick. And that's why she keeps doing what she's doing. The bottom line is that Hillary is a globalist, and Trump is a nationalist, and they do not want nationalism because it'll hinder the profit margins of the money interest and the globalists. Okay, so this ends this, but I'll be speaking further more about the Clintons and all that and various other voter fraud. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.